Okay, so yesterday we were discussing about how to integrate Maven with Sonar and how to analyze the Maven code. So we created a profile, we added a plugin, and then we did Sonar scanner command. I mean, ambient Sonar scanner command. It worked. As well as we discussed how what are the repositories, how many types are there, and how Maven uses them, in order to download the plugins and everything. So today we'll try add your own dependency. I mean in format XML and let's see whether it's downloads or not. Right? This is the format XML usually we see. As I told you, so this this is the important one. This is where information about your project actually it can be named and what is the version of it. So usually we call it GAV. So group ID, artifact ID, version. And this is our application name. Below all these are plugins and dependencies. If you see plugin. See the sections. Observe the section here for everything. So this is the syntax that we need to add. Let's say we'll add one plugin. Let's see.
Anna plugins and dependencies both are same or different? Anna?
No, both are different. I'll tell you that. So
Okay.
I'll tell you. Don't worry. Dependencies are it depends on plugins are nothing but when you're building the code. Sorry, when you're building your application or a code, these are required. Like let's say mm, you're building your an application. Correct. I mean, I'm an application, right? So now what's happening here? Well, when we started building, it will download the plugins and everything. As you can see, as you know, yesterday, we have seen it. While building, this will use the plugins. So it's like how to say, some extension, some feature that we are using. So while building, this plugin is required. It's an additional functionality that we are giving to our build. So that's what this one plugin is. It's any plugin. Let's say this one. Where is it? Jar plugin here. Let's take this as an example. See, if you remember when we are building, after we build, let's say we have a target directory, right? And we have .jar file inside it. When we build, that's the output we get, correct? So here, by using this plugin only, it is generating the jar file. Let's say we want another artifact, not jar. We want some wire or here. We'll add the plugin and it will generate that for us. But we'll say no. Don't worry about that. And what is a dependency? So plugin is like, okay, we are adding a plugin. So while building, it is using it. But what is the dependency? What is the difference between these is? Dependency is just a jar file actually, where it will be added to the class path while executing the task. Let's say let's go to dependency. I think with maybe one or two couple of maybe there, yeah. I think yeah, these two only mostly as of now. So dependency, what is the difference is, sorry, the difference is these dependencies are required at the project level. Mostly, I would say is these are kind of a libraries which are required for your project. So dependencies may be comes in different phases. Let's say if I do MVN clean, dependency is not there or there. I mean, if I do let's say MVN package, there might be a dependency to do the package. Or let's say if I do MVN test, So testing is required. So at the time, what happens if there is a dependency? In order to do the test at the time, this will be helpful. To keep it simple, both are same, almost both are same. I mean, even if you define a plugin, it's just downloading a jar file. Similarly here also, it's just downloading a jar file. The difference is when they'll use it. The difference is like when, during which phase or which goal they'll start using it. That's where it comes. So that's the difference. But if you talk about the working functionality, what is the content inside, both are same. There is not much, there is no difference. So when we use it, the scope of it, that's where the difference is. Mostly these dependencies uses at a compile time while compiling the code. I mean, we have validate, compile, right? The second phase. So at the time, dependencies will get used. Plugins will get used at the time of building. So that's the only difference. But remaining, all are same. The They have two sections, dependencies and plugins. So you have to define whichever you want. And again, you don't define, but keep it. It'll be useful. So got it?
Yes, sir.
So mm, what? Where are we? Yeah. So adding our own plugins. Yeah. So we can add our own plugins in this format. So this format we have to add. We have to open the plugin section. Obviously, we'll open it. But how we know about these two things? What is the version? What is the plugin name? We figure it out by Google. I mean, let's see. Let's say I want to add which plugin? Apache Maven. Sorry, where plugin. So it will give us a syntax actually. So you can see this is the official documentation. We're not doing any other extra thing. Where is the code? See, the same plugin. See, directly you can use this. This is the content. This is the what, right? I mean, the plugin. Sorry, maybe until here. This is what we are expecting, right? To give. So we have the, I mean, for every plugin, let's say any plugin, let's take, yesterday we opened my website, right? Maven central repository. This one. Let's go. Yeah, this is the one. Let's say this plugin, correct? This is the version we want. This is the XML file. Simple. What all we have to do is you have to search by this plugin, so it will give you the official content of this plugin. Let's say HTTP client, right? What is this HTTP client? Let's simply try. Let's see. Oh, come on. Wait. This artifact. Take the what is the version? 0.33. Where is the plugin? Let's see here. Let's search. Dependency is there. So this is the plugin. I mean dependency which they've added. There is no plugin version here. But yeah, generally you have to use like this. Let's see another one as well if it is not clear. What we'll see. Let's search for where. Not there. I think where is not there. Around no other plugins, but yeah, that's okay. So this is how usually we add the plugin. Let's copy now Notepad first. So this is fine. This is fine. It is expecting this as well. So this is like defining where we have to deploy. So as of now, we haven't discussed that. I mean, where we deploy the application and everything. Since still we are at building phase. So let's remove this. So this is the plugin content. This is what we have, right? I mean, generally in for every plugins, correct? So let's simply copy this. Let's copy this. Go to your form.xml. Keep it anywhere. Anywhere. See, this is I clip it here. Let's paste it. Yeah. Syntax is not mandatory, but I'm just doing it. That's it. I add another plugin. So all you have to do is just go to your build management. I mean, build section under build management. There will be a plugins section. So in that you can add your own plugins. If you see something like this, arrow mark like this and this is a comment. You can just simply remove it. It's not really required. We see, in Linux, we see the comments right with hash followed by hash, right? That's what we say it as a comment. Here in XML, the arrow marks are the comments. So that's it. There's no other difference. See, I added the plugin. Forget about what functionality that will bring us. We don't need it. Even we don't add the plugins also, but it's good to have an idea of those. So let's see whether it works or not. I mean, we add the plugin. Let's see whether it works or not. MVN package. The That's okay. Let me remove the local repository. But it's already stored yesterday. So MVN clean package. Let me do. It's downloading. We got success. Means whatever we added is correct. Let's see in the output where it is. If we can find it. Mhm. I can't figure it out. That's okay. Let's go to our local repository. Mm, what is the plugin or sorry. Where is this where plugin? Mhm. Appending is deprecated. Mhm. This is the one of before. Okay, let me change the command. Okay, let me remove this. Still can't find it. Where is stored? Where is stored? It should be present somewhere. Let me just try. Still can't find it. Let me try another way. Let's see what is the plugin. My app. Where is it? 3.1.0 version. And what plugin should be along with this? No, this is not. Let's search for another directory. Not here. Will be present here, but let's see. Yeah. Let's find more is that. If it is not exist, let's try again. It should be usually present here. Oh, come on. Maven. It should be present here. Looks like it's not there. So let's try again. So we have added the plugin. Yes. Mhm. Let's try again. Resolver. It's down. It's a resolver. Below before that, even install plugins there. Let's go to this folder. No, Still is not coming. Species. That's okay. Yeah. So let's. I'll check it now for that. That's okay. Come on. Yeah. So for now, you got how to add the plugins and how to, where to check exactly. So obviously I did install, so it should be present in, sorry, what is the path? Local repository dot m2 slash, I mean, you have to go inside the folder. There will be slash repository slash the path. Let me just check the path. So org Apache Maven plugins. This is where by default it will store. So if you can add, let's say, any plugin, so it will store here. So that's how you add, I mean, generally any plugin. It's not just this var plugin. I just took it as an example of this var. But whatever required, let's say whatever the plugin is required, we'll be adding here. Is it our work to add? Maybe not. But sometimes we may add. Sometimes, I mean, not regularly, but generally, let's say if the build failure, it can be for multiple reasons. It can be due to plugin is missing or dependencies are missing, or let's say the plugin does not exist, whatever you mentioned or whatever developer mentioned. So we have to find the root cause for that one and not inform the developer, hey, this is the issue. The issue I am facing, this is the issue. Well, we saw while building the code through our pipeline or whatever it is. So we have to let them know that what is the issue, what is the root cause. We don't need to fix that. I mean, let's say that there is a code issue. Why we would fix it? Obviously, we don't. It is a responsibility of a developer, but we have to let them know why it's failed exactly. That's our up to that point we'll be taking care. So got it. So that's about adding how to add plugins and everything. So let's try one more thing. See, if we go to target, it's a simple thing. I mean, you can see this name right. My app 1.0 snapshot.jar. Correct. Where this is coming from? As I told you, let's go. It is coming from here. My app, my app 1.0 snapshot. Is it correct? My app 1.0 snapshot. This is the name it is taking because I told you right. GAV, Group ID, Artifact ID version is where your application details will be present. You can simply change it. I mean, usually there are two types of versions. Usually, let's say that's not my app, test app. I'll change 1.0. Just keep it maybe 2.1. Let's build again. Let's see. See, observe here. Yeah, here also. Or let's go to target here. See, the output of the artifact depends on the group ID, artifact ID, and version. This is here. These are all mentioned. And you have seen something called a snapshot like this. There are two types which we can mention, either snapshot and release. Snapshot, release. Sometimes you might have seen this, either snapshot they'll mention or like this, they'll mention the release. What is the what is the difference between this release and snapshot? We'll see about that. Let's say the developers are there. They are working regularly. Every day they're making some changes. They're pushing it. and they're building the code and deploying it to some testing environment, let's say lower environment. Correct? That's what happens. So it's active development, right? Every day they're developing something and they're pushing something. So actively development is going on a regular basis. So at that time, every day there will be builds, obviously with some changes. Correct? So that's what we call snapshots. Because snapshots are nothing like, the timely builds. So today I have written some updated some code and I build it. And again after 1 hour I build it again with some updated code. These are snapshots, I mean timely builds. Based on the time I'm updating the code, I'm building the artifacts. That's what about snapshot. So usually developers, I mean not just developers, anyone, they'll upload this, they'll use this repository as I told you earlier. They'll store these snapshots. I mean snapshots means our the timely builds, the artifacts will be stored. And let's say what is release then? Release is like the one which we are releasing to the customers. Let's say snapshots 1.2, 1.3 snapshot, 2 point something snapshot, all are there. Now finally development is done. Now I want to release this. I mean my testing are done, I want to release it. At the time here they'll add the release tag and they'll build it. It means we are releasing this version. We are releasing this artifact because all the work is done. Testing, whatever developing testing is done. So that's how we're doing it. So that's the difference between snapshot and release. This will come, more about the snapshot and release in our next topic because as I told you, right, repository Nexus, which we'll be using Nexus to store the artifacts which we generated in there, correct? So there we see there's differences because developers will store these artifacts on regular basis. They'll keep in any repository, it's not just Nexus or something. So whatever the repository they have, they'll configure it, they'll store it, and they'll use it. That's what usually happens. So got it?
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, sorry. Any doubts so far? I mean, of course, you don't do all this, but at least you need to understand basics of Maven, like what is Maven about, what it will do, what is structure of Maven, how it looks like, how to build and all. This is basic only, not really that much deep, and how to add plugins, these kind of things. So, any doubts so far? And of course, we have seen yesterday the sonar, how to integrate sonar with Maven, and how to do the analysis. Hope it is understandable. I mean, or any doubts yesterday? Anything?
No, no.
No, bro.
Okay. So I think yeah, that's it for Maven. I mean, still there are a few more topics which we can discuss, but that's developer point of view, so we don't need them. But maybe let's talk about another small topic in there, which might not be useful, but yeah, let's keep it in mind. So usually there will be a structure like let's say this is application, right? So there will be multiple modules inside this application. Like how let me just let's say this is app. This is the module one. What is the module? Maybe login module. This module two. What is that? Maybe let's say cart module. Module three, payment module. So like this, there'll be child modules inside the main Maven application. So here what happens is like each and every module will have its own pom.xml. Of course, main have a pom.xml, right? Which we have currently. So this is a single format.xml for our application. Now we have modules. So I mean, we don't create this, but this is the idea. We have the modules. So each one will have their own form in each directory. So now what happens is we can build all these things separately, all these modules separately. MVN install, MVN install, MVN install, and finally MVN install. But this is not the way, right? So these modules are present under our main app. So it means we have to control these modules through this app. So then this main will become the parent form, and all these modules become child. So through parent module or through parent form, we'll control all the child modules. Let's try this how it this is how it looks like. But how the here the original source code looks like is simple. Let's create a folder. Simply login module. Yeah, login module. Now what I do, I'll just simply copy form.xml from here. I'll change it later, don't worry. It will fail, yes. Yes. Let me clean it. I'll change the pom.xml GAV, group ID artifact ID version. Right? Artifact ID, I'll change it to login app. Something. I mean, we're just copying the same code, I mean, just for testing. Now, as of now, we have a main application. This is our app. And we have a login module, which is a module inside this app. So now we have separate form.xml for module and for main, our main application. So what we can do here, let's build it. Sorry, spelling wrong. Mhm. It's building. Let's go to target directory is there. Yeah. Let's go to login module. Let's build this also. It's have its own target, obviously. So target. So login app. This is what, right? We gave the name and the version, obviously. So let's say there is another module. Mm, let's create payment module. Oh, yeah. Let's say in the pom.xml, the name will be maybe payment module, payment app. I mean. Now let's do the package. This will also build, obviously. Ah, see, obviously, target directory. Login app, I just copied from that. That's fine. Let's remove that. That's okay. Payment app, if you see. So like this, we have modules. We have main application. Inside that we have modules. So what we are doing so far is building our main application and building this module separately. That's what we're doing, correct? As of now, that's what we're doing. But let's say we have 20 or 30 modules. Can we do it manually every time? No, that's not a good approach. Then how to do? So now the how the architecture looks like here. Inside our application, our modules exist. It means we can control these modules with our application, with our pom.xml, our main pom.xml. Main means our application pom.xml. So how to control it? So what we have to do is we have to consider these as a modules and we have to inform that to Maven. We have to inform that to Maven that okay, I have a modules inside my project and we have to configure that. Then what happens is this main wherever we mention the modules, this will become the main pom.xml. I mean the parent pom.xml. These will become the child modules inside this main. Let's how to mention it. Simple is open the pom.xml wherever you want to keep it. So now what we have to do is let's open a module section maybe on top only, right to below, maybe here modules. I'll open a section module. What is the name? Login app. Correct. What is another module? I think payment app. That's it. Now let's close it. Sorry. That's it. Let me just reconfirm once. Module, login module, payment module, not app. Let's rename these things. Now this is what happens now. We define the modules. It means when we execute this form.xml, I mean when we execute this command, it will read this also now, correct? Obviously, it will read the form.xml and it will read this. Okay, there are some modules. We have to build them also. So when you let's say execute MVN package, it will execute this child modules as well along with your parent module. So that's now this became the parent module because in this pom.xml we mentioned the modules. That's why this has become the parent one. There is one more thing we need to do. In the GAV section, we need to add one more extra thing called packaging. We have to define as pom. Yeah, this should be correct. So once if we define this packaging as pom, it means this is the parent. So we have to define these two things in order to make this pom.xml as a parent. Just give me a minute. Yeah, sorry. So now we have defined these two things. Let's save it. Hmm, I think we did cleaned everything. No target files. Sorry, no target directories. Let's package. Let's try. See, if you observe here, it is building three, but the name is wrong. That I will change now, but don't worry. It is building three because one is parent, obviously two are modules. Let's go to a login module. See, target writer exists. See, let's go to payment module. See, it exists. Let's clean. We'll see what happens. See, it's cleaning all this. Why the name is same, but even though we changed everything. Why? Because let's say if you go to this form.xml, here the module, the name is still my app. This we haven't changed. Let's change it to what is this login app. Now payment. I'm just going to payment form. Yeah. Let's change it to payment tab. Now let's build again. Sorry, spelling wrong obviously. See, now the names are correct. See, one is main parent one to our child. This is what right. This is what happening right. Let's login module. Obviously. Correct. So you got it. I mean how to add modules. Any doubts?
Yes, bro. Got it.
I mean we don't do
Yes.
all these setup as I'm telling you again, it's not our responsibility to do all these things. But let's say you went into project and you are using Maven over there. If you know these things, what are these child modules, parent modules, how to add a plugin, it will be easy for you just to work on. I'm not working on Maven right now. Maybe 6 months ago, until 6 months, since 6 months, I guess. So not everyone uses Maven. I mean, I told you right. This will be useful for Java applications. Of course, Java is the major one in the market, so many people may use it. But it's good to have this knowledge. If your company is using Python or something else, or Ruby something else, you don't need this. But they use Maven, you may need this. So at the time, it should not be new for you. All these things. Got it right?
Yes.
So hope
Yes,
it's
sir.
clear. Okay. So any doubts so far in Maven?
No, no.
Okay. So yeah, that's it for Maven. So tomorrow we'll start the repository Nexus. So which we will integrate the repository with Maven and how to push our artifacts to Nexus repository. That's what this is for MV and deploy. That's what this is for. Now, obviously, it will fail because we haven't configured anything. And once it's failed, other tasks will be observed here. Got it? So that's will start tomorrow, right? So yeah, we'll meet tomorrow same time. Keep practice. Bye. Bye everyone.